Joining us over the phone right now is Jeremy Schneider. He is a personal finance expert. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
So many people insecure right now, and for people who are financially affected by this outbreak, whether they're laid off or furloughed, what should they be doing right now?
Yeah, it's definitely a scary time. And so I'd say the first thing to do if your income is affected is to prioritize your budget essentials. That's housing, food, utility, and transportation. Those four things. If you can keep paying for those four things, you will get through this. You'll be okay. You won't go hungry. You won't be homeless. If you have more money than that, right now I'd pay just the minimum on any debts you have. So if you have student loans, cars, credit cards, pay just the minimums now. You can worry about getting out of debt once your income stabilizes after this. And then if you have any more money, pile it up into an emergency fund. Just like a big pile of cash, the goal being to have at least 3 months of your living expenses in an emergency fund so that if you ever have an income disruption again or things get worse, you can kind of ride it out for at least 3 months while you're figuring out how to stabilize your income. And of course, don't lose hope. This too will pass. We've seen and recovered from worse pandemics in the history of the world. So hang in there and remember, you will get through this.
This afternoon, the Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, actually mentioned independent contractors in the stimulus package. For the first time, we've heard that, him saying that it was a little more complicated than it was for employees, but they were still covered under this act. Do you have any clarity on that and how they could be helped?
I'm not sure about independent contractors at this point. I think that everyone is still figuring that out and figuring out who qualifies, and so I'd say if you're an independent contractor, kind of the same rules apply. Live below your means, try to minimize your spending, and ride this out until your income stabilizes in the future.
What about the people who still have their jobs right now, still bringing in a paycheck, but stuck at home? Life has changed, and this is a new time, certainly financially.
Yeah, I would say that, remember, this is going to be a short-term volatility thing for the market, and so do the same things that I always recommend, which are two things. Number one, live below your means. That means spend less money than you're bringing in. And two, invest early and often. If you think about where the world will be in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, this will be a thing of the past, and you'll be very glad if you stayed the course, invested early and often through this market volatility, and then in 10 years or 20 years when the market is way up, you'll be very glad that you were able to invest when the market was low as it is right now.
An optimistic voice in this time. Thank you so much, Jeremy Schneider, a personal finance expert, for your advice this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And our coverage of the coronavirus continues next.